Yes, now we can start talking the way we were talking before.
Morning from
Just
Iowa.
we are two minutes earlier than the people can expect us to be live. So here we are talking about, and I was just talking that I was exploring AI about the phenomena in communication. And of course, we have outer communication and we have inner communication. Communication with our own unconscious, communication with our own subconscious, no? Messages floating through from different states of consciousness to us. And there's a lot of point of view. I will start one very nicely. Jung, the, the psychologist. And his belief basically is he was exploring the symbols in collective unconscious, like symbols in Hinduism, symbols in Christianity, a collective symbol, and also working a universal patterns of behavior in characters, universal characters. So he was working basically, and his idea is that the instinct, well, fully packed. We're just talking about this in communication, the role of animals in communication, giving messages, and self communication, and non verbal communication, basically. Like human to human are the verbal communication. And when, like, if I see in dream Pavel coming in my dream, then I will hear he's speaking something in English, which making sense to me. No direct communication. But here, either animal communicates to us in dream or they appear in waking life. It's always we who are inferring the non-verbal to verbal. What does it mean? The meaning. But because they are non-verbal communication. So that's how it becomes very interesting that we start to pay attention to non-verbal messages. No? And one has to be very subtle. Like we discover the language, body language, non-verbal body language. Person is not speaking, but body is speaking. No? The intention, the things in the how the person is looking, how is standing pose. No, that way we decipher. Oh, non-verbal messages coming from the body. The same in the animal world. If you look, they give messages in the same way, no, in instinctive way, looking intently in your eyes, or looking away, or crying in grief, or happy, no, that way. And we have to decipher the message through that. One thing also, if the message is very crucial to pass on, then it repeats. Same dream repeating, same animal repeating. So if anything repeating means this is a serious message, you must pay attention to. That way also we become curious, no? And if with the same pattern, then we can decipher easily. Means the message is very important to decipher. And I was also going through the documented facts. I found one snake, example of a snake that a woman, and the documented, no, like the records, documented records in parapsychology and psychology about dream interpretations. And the woman was seeing in her dream a snake appearing in her dream. And in a way, so she took it as an omen that she was planning to go next morning somewhere. A snake appearing in her dream, obstacle coming in the path. So she took that it's a omen not to go, and she did not go. And later on, she learned that at that place, where she was going, lightning struck, or some life to her danger was there. And same way also, it's a man reporting that he's farmer reporting that he's going, and a snake in the waking life, like in the waking state, like we are in, and snake coming and trying to obstruct his path, and he decides not to go to the work. And same, the place where he was going, some mishappening happened. So that way I found that snake mostly. Another way one record is there before Kundalini awakening, the person seeing that a snake cobra came, standing pose, but not attacking. So the person sees it as a omen for transformation. And after that, a series of transformation started to happen spontaneously, which is taken as Kundalini activation. So this all, I was just reading some facts and documents before we come to talk about it and give you an idea that what it could be. The inner non-verbal communication. No? But inner non-verbal communication makes us very much sensitive to understand others in the outer environment too. Because if you are that much peculiar to sense in the dream the body language of an animal, if you are that much aware, that means you are that much sensitive in the waking state too, to detect, decipher, and connect to the animal world in the waking state too. So in a way, it's a very nice avenue. One can also think of the sensitivity or how brain working, the neuroplasticity, how brain is sending messages or adjusting to an environment or a suggestions, and a conscious communication between instinct and social learning. Because all these messages coming, because in modern society, in social learning, we are losing the contact with our animal instinct world. In the becoming modern, like in the modern society, we are not so much exposed to nature, animal, non-verbal communications in that way. More mechanistic solutions there to entertain the self. So in this backdrop, in this scenario, what we can throw some pulse of wisdom to modern society or teenager, any generation you can choose to address. Or any professionals. Like, anything would you like to say, Jenny, from your archive of diaries, which is filled with this kind of experiences?
Oh, yeah. Well, it all started when I was young, being raised on a farm. Because if I would get out of sorts, I would go back to on the hills, and I'd lay on the hill and look at the sky, and it would just center me. And so nature is really, really important for centering and balancing energetically, I think, just the earth energy. But you were talking about dreams, and I had the most, at the time, it was like bizarre to me because it woke me up. And so I was in this dream observing. I was standing there, and there was a crow or a raven. I can't, it doesn't matter. And there was a little girl singing in the distance, riding. I could see her riding on this wooden thing with an older man pushing her, and the raven was waiting for her. Well, anyway, and she was singing this beautiful song. And so then the next thing I remember in my dream is the raven was dead, and I had cut the raven open and eaten the meat out of the raven. And I mean, that was so gross to me. It literally woke me up because I went, what was this? So it's interesting. I looked up dreams using AI, which is just amazing. And it was the purity of the girl was coming, and the raven was supposedly the negativity. And I,
Here, Raven in Hindu mythology, Raven, cow for dharma and things. Raven is related with ancestors
interesting.
in
Imagine,
Indian mythology. Ravens are connected with presence of ancestors.
I literally ate the meat of the raven, and I just was like, oh my God. And besides, I cut it open, but it was dead. But it was like I protected the purity of the child that was coming from supposedly negativity, although I don't look at any animals as negative. So it was a really complex dream. So when I went into AI, it kind of broke it down for me so that I could actually say, oh, this wasn't a bad dream. This was a good dream. So anybody have any feedback on that dream for me?
I had very in the childhood once. I also told to Pavel, but no, but we need to have animal in the dream. No?
Mm-hmm.
Animal, animal dream I have, but it's a mostly I dream of snake, snake. But in the snake, I am more emotionally turmoil, like big snake, no, very big snake. Then emotionally turmoil somehow shows in unconscious or subconscious something is moving, some deep structural change. Then it's a very big snake, like anaconda kind of, that much
Oh,
big.
wow.
And otherwise, small snakes, sometimes they bite me. That means some kind of danger I'm overlooking.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Interesting.
sometimes they are not biting, they are just appearing in a different way. Many snakes like this way, that's a different kind of masses. So to me, yeah, snakes appears mostly. Dog also in a way when I am afraid, fear.
Mm-hmm.
Then dogs like I'm there to protect somehow, no?
Mm-hmm.
I am protecting you. So in Indian symbology, dog are the from the Bhairavas, the disciple of Shiva's Bhairavas. There is a sadhak they call Bhairav. It's like identical to Shiva, and there is the animal is dog. It's like bull to Shiva and dog to Bhairavas, the identical
Mm-hmm.
devotees of Shiva, identical to Shiva, but devotees of Shiva. So this is mostly yes, fear and protection, or some kind of power struggle, fight between the me and somebody else, and then it appears tiger in protection and instinct. Tigers, bear for my flexibility. I'm rigid to a position, like my knee was locked. So I was fully rigid in my mind about a decision I have taken out of fear. And it wasn't, and my knee was, I was young, but still knee was like, I was started to struggle with my knees in movements, in climbings. And then it came, the masses. Only one time I saw it came, and there was a small ring, and it came and jumped over the ring and softly landing, softly landing on the ground, showing me the flexibility. some kind of masses. So I took it more for the flexibility and maybe also strength or assurance that it will recover. I will recover from this um, sickness, the accident which I had, and after that it was there. Yeah. And other animals' life, like crow, communicating live. All other animals are live communications. Crow, eagle are more like close to, they can come close to you to give you masses. More like crow can come hit on your head. Crow can come past just nearby to ask attention to give you a message. Now I know that it's somehow related to ancestors. So this way I receive messages from animal world. Otherwise, elements like water, fire, air, they communicate also in a different way. And sometimes surprising way, like buffalo playing guitar, strange combination of the dreams, no? And that's the never forgetting dream. I cannot even forget now ever. If you can see in your dream buffalo playing guitar.
That's pretty psychedelic.
Fully psychedelic. I'm doing that. I still cannot forget about it.
That would be a hard one to forget. Oh my goodness, that's cute. Well, you talk about snakes. When I moved into Des Moines here, my daughter went to get water from the faucet. We were sitting out on the front porch, and there was a python, and she screamed and jumped up, but the python evidently needed help, and it knew to come to our house. And when we saw it, then we called the society that comes and gets the snakes. And the guy came and picked up this gigantic python. It wrapped around him and he took it to the car. But animals are so intuitive. It's like, it's interesting. Like I feed the ground squirrels out here. And if I haven't fed them or forgotten, I get busy doing my social media, the, the ground squirrels will scream at me. And they are so loud. I mean, they're only this big, but the sound that comes out of them is just amazing to me until I come out and feed them. So if we aren't in tuned at the moment, they let us know too.
Mm.
But the coolest thing that ever happened to me was I had a woman come over that her throat chakra was blocked. And so we went out on my patio and we ohmed. We must have ohmed for probably 20 minutes to open her throat chakra. So when we got done and we went off the porch, there must have been 50 coiled snakes around my patio. And the vibration that we were ohming drew the snakes in. And they were sitting there listening or absorbing whatever they do with the vibration. And so I said, let's go see if we have any vortexes because we are so expanded from ohming. And we literally stepped over the snakes. They were not afraid of us. The ohming had expanded our energy field so far that they were not threatened anymore by a human experience. So I mean, like you, I have 100 stories of these weird things that happened to me. But yeah, it was fun. It was fun. And I don't know, dogs, cats. I've had them
So
all.
let's come to your question, Jamie, which we were talking before we were live. No?
Okay.
And we thought not to talk more, otherwise we cannot bring it in our episode. So that question,
Which one?
before today we were talking, you said, I am looking for an answer to a question about spirit.
Okay, yeah. I mean, animals go in the spirit world too, so this can connect. So, spirit okay, if I do a reading on someone, I might see their parent. I mean, perfectly. I will describe them perfectly. And they'll give me a pet name, and I'll tell the person the pet name, and they start crying because they said, "How do you know that?"
Hmm.
And then if I see Jesus or if I see Buddha, my question is, am I actually seeing those spirits, or is that awakened inside of me to the point where I'm talking to myself? Because if we're all made up of atoms, then we're connected to everything anyway,
Hmm.
in multiple dimensions.
Hmm.
So are we awakening that within ourselves for those connections, or actually, or are we actually seeing in the spirit world and connecting there?
Well, I
I've been
can give an
pondering this.
explanations with
Oh,
our
good.
theoretical explanation, theoretical, theoretical explanation,
Okay.
as described in theory. But before I go for it, I'm more interested. How did you got to know the name of the pet?
What?
Uh, you can tell them the name of their pet, the animal.
Well, well, their pet names say, like this one woman I was doing a rating, and her husband was a minister of some kind, and she came to me twice for healing work, and when I was talking to her, her father came in and called her Froggy or something like that. I can't even remember exactly what it was. And I said, "Your father wants to tell you this, and it's Froggy." And she just started crying, and she said, "What you do is evil. I'm leaving." There's no way you could know that. And she got up and left.
Ah,
And I'm like, okay. I mean, I felt bad about it, but at the same time, Spirit has told me that if we have no intention behind what comes out of us and it triggers people to heal, even if they cry, we don't create karma because we don't have intention.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, yeah. So, and pets, pet names. I mean, you know, it's really cool that we can do that. But I told you my question's kind of deep. Are we actually seeing in, or are we awakening it within ourselves?
Look, all we are doing is that all we are doing in our own consciousness. We have a consciousness as our background.
Right.
Like I am working as a healer, or you are working as a healer, that you are conscious about. First of all, what you are doing. So there is a plate of consciousness which is holding all the act over it, that I am doing a healing work.
Mm-hmm.
On the plate of, on this awareness, over this consciousness, all work is going on. So the consciousness, this, the background is the witness. This awareness is the witness who is watching, and everything happening over the mind. So here, everything is on the mind, and you are aware of what I am doing. Your question arising from where the doubt is arising. That whatsoever you are doing on the mental state. So that's the power. This, the image on your mental mind is a symbol where your emotions are connecting. And the more emotions will connect to you, more vivid the picture will be, more clear and loud picture will be. If you
So I'm
connect less
collecting.
emotionally on your mind, like let's say, imagine Buddha, and you are not emotionally attached at all, you
Yeah.
don't get a clear picture. You will get a hazy picture on your mind.
Mm-hmm.
But if you are more fully connected to emotions there, it will build more clear picture, more clarity. Like
Mm-hmm.
if you call someone and you are fully emotionally attached to the person, you will see the person in detail, their movement, the pattern, the texture, the expressions, no, brightness, light, shadow. It will be more clear. So all is happening on the mental world. on the mind. And mental body, your mental body, is affecting another mental body. It's just like I'm giving you massage. So my physical body is affecting your physical body.
Right. I get it.
Here, your mental body and your emotions, which is very high and purified, sattvic, the high vibration. So your mental body overpowers that body, connecting, and it starts to vibrate on the same level. That's how the healing is happening.
So emotionally, I'm connecting to her, and that's why I get the information.
Yeah, yeah. You actually, her mind is coming under your mind. That's how you could read it. Suddenly, you can get some information from her. So, but this is the way healing will happen. That's how you feel the person. You can, and sometimes accidentally you can blurt out some words which you don't know how. No, like deep connection. So sometimes it happens to me also that sometimes I am like talking and accidentally I am thinking exactly word by word the same sentence the other person is going to say. So what the other person is going to say, and exactly you also want to say the same sentence, exactly in the same time, same manner. So sometimes it accidentally the whole sentence or words can happen. But usually it's happening that your mental force, the mental body has a magnetic force. No? And so this magnetic force is affecting, like powering over the another magnetic force which is weaker and it's transferring.
But that doesn't explain how, like, when I was laying on the floor when I was getting ready to move in this vacant house, and I was meditating, and Siddhartha came. Well, I didn't even know that Siddhartha was Buddha, but this person came, and I could see him, and he told me to rub my big toe. I think I talked about it in one of the shows. So I didn't have anybody around me to connect to. So was I talking to myself? Or was a spirit actually coming to me to give me that message? That's my real thought or
May
question.
I, it may be, I am not guaranteeing that my answer is true,
Yeah, I get it. I
but
get it.
I'm logically reasoning.
Okay.
Because just before we had a class on Akashic records.
Mm-hmm.
What are Akashic records, how to access them, how different kinds of things. And in channeling, no, in channeling, that sometimes you have a word, the name of the person or character, and sometimes you don't. So to me, if you are channeling, means you are connecting to a set of information, a pattern of information. And this
Energetically.
information, yeah, and this information belongs to a character, a name. Because if the Siddhartha ever have been born, ever in the history,
Yeah.
and if this Siddhartha has a certain character to display, a certain quality, like a character of Siddhartha, then this Siddhartha will never die as a character. And his all the thought patterns, the way he's thinking, the way he's feeling, the way he was experiencing, it all will be connected to a certain pattern of thinking. We can call it Akashic records.
Frequency.
Yeah, frequencies. And you may get in connection with anyone can.
Mm-hmm.
So when you get connected to a memory which is belonging to a character, you will get the name of the character. in character
Yeah.
formation. Like if I'm meditating, and then if I'm accessing an archive, a certain pattern of a guru, then I will get the name of that guru. That under his eyes, under his archive, I am having this experience. Then he will tell me the name of them in character, in processing mode. But if
Right.
I'm having the experiences in Pashyanti, in different mode, there is no name. There will be no name, but higher experiences. So in Madhyama, in the middle state, which is connecting beyond and this world together, this is in the middle. So if you will process this middle energy and channel it, then you can get the name of the angels or name of the characters, any name which was given. In that realm of existence, which is one way connecting to beyond and one way connecting to your waking state, yourself.
How does that correlate with past lives though? Because don't we have different names in different lifetimes?
Past lives is also all the memory belongs to characters. The memory where characters are living. It doesn't matter, it's maybe Jesus, maybe Muhammad, maybe anyone enlightened, maybe any rishis here. So if you are accessing the mind of that person, an act and mind, this memory belongs to a certain character, a name of that person.
Certain frequency they've achieved.
Yeah, like in India, we will worship Krishna in many names.
Yeah, right.
Many names. And each devotee is channeling only that name. Means they are channeling processing unit, character, the lila, the act, the actions, the judgment patterns, what is right, what is wrong, the conscience, what to do, what not to do, should and should not. No? The limitations, the boundary. So a knowledge is particularized in a way, then it will have a name. So we will have Krishna, we say Govinda, Gopala, different names. This is different act and different actions. That means you are accessing in Akashic records that memory of that character. Then you will have a name. Yeah, then you will have a name. And if you will access that beyond names, then you will have only energy. Pure energy and pure experience, but will have no name.
Our human consciousness likes to put.
Yeah, so if we are accessing the collective unconscious and getting informations from there, from correct memory, anybody might have said this statement, doesn't matter. But if you access that, then you will go to the same feeling, same space, same energy, but this and a name. And then you will get a name. That means we are in a processing unit. You are not beyond. You are not channeling beyond. You are in the middle. This is connecting one way to this world and one way to another world. But this is memory of the characters.
I have another question. Oh, shoot, now I forgot it. About animals. Oh, shape-shifting. People can shape-shift into animals and see through their eyes?
I am a shapeshifter.
You can do
character.
that?
I am a shapeshifter, yeah. This is
So
for me nothing to do. It happening any time.
Okay. Oh, so hold on. I want to get some coffee. I want to hear about this. Just a second. Okay. So
I didn't know that I am a shapeshifter. Only when I studied this Jungian philosophy and her characters, the collective characters, the traits and behaviors which the shapeshifter have, then I found out, oh, I'm a shapeshifter. because this is my fun just to lie down and go moving into different states of consciousness. This is my practice, like just relax, do nothing, and enter into any state of consciousness, God knows where. But keep on moving, shifting.
I forgot to plug my laptop in. Okay. So what about shape-shifting into animals? Have you done that?
Now I can connect to animals. No, that's very easily. I just wanted to know, Pavel, the medical science little bit about the what you call the brain waves pattern in animals and the brain waves pattern in humans. We have alpha, beta, gamma, and theta. All the four waves going on in our mind in different states of time. No? Mm-hmm. But what about animals? Pavel is muted. Maybe he's not listening. I can ask AI. Then we can understand, because there is a correlation to connect with the animal or a plant or anyone. You have to shift your frequency to the same frequency of the animal to communicate. Frequency should be same. So.
And how do you do that? You just look at it?
No, we can shift. No, we can use our mind. Like we can shift in a beta wave. We can shift in a theta wave. Our brain is shifting.
So you look at it and you can shift into it.
Yeah, you can go into that state. Like with the cat, it's very easy to go in alpha mode because they are shifting. So if you are connected with the cat, you can easily shift with that to the alpha mode, and you can learn to quickly shift in the alpha mode. Mm-hmm. In yoga, we do cat stretch. There is an asana to control the same beats of the vertebra which cat is using to activate and go to sleep. So that we master in yoga practice and try to do the same movement which cat is doing. In China, when I was practicing Tao practices, then we were learning the movement of cat and tiger and affecting exactly the same movement in standing poses. In yoga, it's a different way of practicing the same, but in a lying down pose or a quadruped pose. And in Chinese Tao practices, I was doing it in a standing pose. And if you don't know anything about it, you are the luckiest person. You can just have a cat and sleep with it. Be one with it and learn how she's shifting, and one day you can shift from that. So for me, it's shape-shifting for me very easy to glide in a different states of consciousness. Just spontaneously. I keep on moving, I don't know where I am, but I keep on gliding in different worlds while I'm sleeping. So it's a natural talent. Going into the dream, in watching my own dream, and then analyzing the same dream in the dream itself. In the dream, I dreaming, and then in the dream, I wake up. In the dream, I wake up, think about the dream, analyze the whole dream, understood the whole dream, and then I wake up that everything was in dream.
Well, have you ever stopped your dreams and changed them? I've done that. I've stopped my dream before and changed it consciously in the dream.
You can change the dream for sure if it is some kind of fight or something needed.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I remember
Otherwise, no, but this analysis, for me, it's easy. No, like it's just happening anytime. I just close my eyes and within a few minutes, I will start to glide somewhere in some other space. Safe shifting, but just it's my character, no? Like pattern, unconscious pattern. My body knows, my mind knows the pattern. use anything to shift. Doesn't matter, eyes open, eyes closed, any sense organ, any excuse, kinesthetic sense, smell, touch, eyes. I can use any sense organ to shift in different states of consciousness.
We can do healing work in dreams too. I've seen, or protection, because I remember I walked in my house.
Well, I don't take any responsibility. I have accounts of listening that I appeared in the dream of the person. I did something on Kundalini, but I have no idea.
Well, the experience that I had was I was in a dream and I walked in my mom and dad's house, and my cousin's husband was there, and everybody was crying. And I said, "What's going on?" And they said that my cousin had died. And I stopped and I said, "Well, where's her husband?" And they said, "He took off." And I stopped the dream and I visualized her in front of me, and I put a light of protection around her and said, "This is not going to happen." And a week later, she got in a car accident and missed a telephone pole by like an inch. So that kind of showed me the potential we have in our dreams if we have a semi-conscious connection, even though it's not, we aren't conscious. I don't know how
Well,
to
if
explain.
we are conscious, we can connect to our subconscious directly. That's the point, that animals don't need to come to say something to us, because we as a human directly, non-verbally or verbally, we are communicating with our own unconscious or subconscious.
Oh yeah.
But if there is a situation we are not able to connect and decipher and find a way to a situation, then or suppressing some instinct, and our nervous systems is not coming in harmony, then animals start to appear as a symbol to ask attention. Or the plant kingdom also. Plant kingdom can also communicate. If you are open, they can also come to deliver the masses if they have some masses. But animals for sure. Oh yes, now I remember this very nice incident. Animals in dream, yeah, divine messages. Very strange. Right. Yeah, divine messages, and you can. That's what you are asking the question. It is dream or real? It's dream or real? So incident which I am going to narrate to you. Now you will say how it is can be a dream or real. Because it's also happening in the real time and it's also happening in the dream world.
Right.
And it's also happening between two persons in the real time. So it happens so that I was giving sessions of alchemy to one of my students in Finland. So in alchemy session, I asked the person that I'm changing the pattern. Please, for 6 months, follow this. Mm-hmm. What happened in the meantime, in the situation, while he was under me, like transformation process of 6 months, he, with his girlfriend, ended up in Finland somewhere in ayahuasca. In ayahuasca ceremony. You know ayahuasca ceremony, Jenny? Pavel, can you throw some light on ayahuasca ceremony?
So his girlfriend was in
ayahuasca. It's shamanic intoxication. Shamanic intoxication ceremony. It's a shamanic intoxication ceremony. People drink some intoxicants, and it's like a hallucination, and plant made from plants. And it's a ceremony, yes, and you do repeatedly 3 days minimum, so 3 times, and they start vomiting, but this gives them the sense of some insights. For me, they come to the border between death and life, and their brain starts to show them very active pictures about their life. And I have few friends. One of my friends, she did it 20 times. And this, I think, it's kind of drugs addiction.
Yeah. So they literally have a near-death experience, huh, Pavel?
Yes, yes, yes. It's very, very
Wow.
toxic. There are few other ceremonies, but also with toxins from the frogs. They put it under the skin and some other. So it's shamanic experience. They've got some experience, and I think it's the same like holotropic breathing. We discussed with Guruji that holotropic breathing, active breathing, it gives a hyperventilation, and the body is dying. And in this kind of state, it starts showing, but it works only once, because next time you do it again, body remember that you didn't die first time, so we will not show you anything.
Yeah, many techniques in yoga you can apply only once. If once done, you got it. Otherwise, it will never work. It works only one time.
I want to say a few words about the snakes, because
Yeah.
I grew up in Russia. In Russia, we don't have a lot of snakes, and even in Cyprus, I find one shamanic tantric guru, and he gave me a mantra, Naga Kanya, Sarva Siddhi Hum. And this mantra to invoke Nagas. Naga Kanya is the king or queen of Nagas.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
and Nagas is the source of any knowledge. So I use it a few times when I need to understand something. I can invoke Naga Kanya. And one time I had this experience that I put my eyes into the eyes of this Naga, of this snake, and see the world like a snake. And then I realized that the snake actually they're seeing through the tongue, because they do tongue movement, and it's very energetic tongue movement, and it's like they're sending waves and to see the world through the tongue, not only through the eyes. They see it through the tongue, and it was a very nice experience. But so I start not afraiding because I realized that I know the special mantra for Nagas, so I don't afraid of any Nagas because I. And then the next mantra is the mantra of Garuda. Garuda is the ruler of the Nagas, because
the hawk. Hawk.
yes, the hawk, yes, and
Eagle.
the
Eagle.
hawk, eagle, yes, eagle. Don't afraid. They hunt of any kind of Nagas. So the Garuda is also have the mantra, and so you can rule the Garuda. And with Garuda, yes, you can fly in your lucid dreaming. You can fly like a bird, but you can also fly like Garuda. But you need a mantra to invoke some kind of gods, and then you can see flying through the eyes of. Uh, uh, but at the end, you can invoke and put your eyes in the eyes of Shiva, and that's his to see the world like a Shiva or Kali. And also with the practice, we did it with Guruji that this not the Agoria. We practice three different meditation. One is headless meditation. One practice is to become a corpse, a skull, uh, to become a dead person, but like a bones of the dead person. And and then last is the practice when you're lying and you start burning yourself, and you're actually burning to ash yourself, and then you're like a it's called phoenix. Phoenix, you born again. And this
Oh,
kind of practices is totally destroy any kind of mental disease.
Jenny, I
Because,
have this guided meditation in my podcast,
Mhm.
Phoenix Meditation. I had recorded and it's uploaded in my podcast in Spotify.
so you visualize killing yourself, and
No,
so you
yeah,
come back.
no, visualize dead, and after dead, we do the dead ceremony. We visualize your dead ceremony, your cremation.
Mhm.
Whoa,
Yes,
that's really heavy.
Yeah. So to loosen the fear of death.
Right, right.
If you have any fear of death, these techniques will remove this fear. You lose this fear. They just disappear. After that, no more you will be afraid of them. I mean, rational fear will be there, that you will don't jump in metro station somewhere. Rational fear will be there, but this irrational fear, which anyway was obstructing you in your mental body and causing you not to free thinking, that will be gone, like on instinct level. So fear removal techniques.
I have an affirmation. I'm not afraid of dying. I'm afraid of not living.
Yeah. Actually, this is the fear. If we live fully, we have no fear of it.
Right.
That's what, if you love someone, you will not have fear of losing the person. If you love fully and complete, your fear of losing that transaction is still not complete.
Right.
And if incomplete transaction, it is painful. Separation is painful if the transaction is incomplete.
and the Buddhists, they make a very, very advanced practice that saying you are not existing at all.
So no problem with this, all your drama. You don't exist unnecessarily. You are assuming that you exist, and all problem begins when you think you exist.
Am I going to use that one? That's a great one.
Same way, Tantric
I don't
says
really exist, so
that
that doesn't matter.
all problem is because you think you have a head. If you have a head, you think. So
Right.
think you are headless. Imagine you don't have a head. Now, slowly say, I don't have a head, so how I can think?
Boy, I think this is our most interesting podcast we've done. I love it. I love it.
No, really. And you say, for practicing, you say, you be in a room, don't see, cover up all your mirrors. So you don't see your head in your mirror also. And first time it's very shocking. Like you have a head, first you close this, you don't remember that you closed it. Next time you go and you see, oh, I'm headless. And then make your picture, put on your wall, cut your head. So your picture without head, put on your wall. You will have a completely different perception who you are. I done it. I have done it. So that's what I'm saying. So it's a completely different perception if you do this. Like your picture, you're putting your pictures very nicely in the wall, decorated. Now do it without head, and you will be amazed.
Or shocked. One or the other.
Fully shocked. So these
Yeah,
are tantric ways of removing fear of death. And also the another technique is like if I see you, then I just remember what is your skeleton structure inside.
Your skeleton structure.
And if I remember myself, so I only remember my skeleton structures. No, how is so in the more world, anybody you say you project. What is the skeleton structure of this person? Slowly, slowly, you don't see the people. You see only skeleton structures around.
Yeah, well, I might have to take those drugs that guy was talking, that Pavel was talking about to do that.
These are the just technical support coming to you from meditative world. How to remove fear of death.
You know, that's big right now, this mushroom thing. I just talked to
Actually,
my
it
brother.
worked. It's pragmatically, I worked with people and it all worked to remove their fear because in Corona, they were so traumatic. And after the Corona, also, they were not optimistic that they will live. And people were afraid that they can die any moment. And it was a trauma of death. And when I applied this technique, it worked like a miracle. They lost it because it's
What technique?
these three techniques: headless, seeing the skeleton, making your own crematorium, just the imagination of it. Imagination, conscious imagination of it started to face you conscious. So the paranoia, which was in the mind, fear of death, there took this, you replace this with this imagination, with a reality. And some fact, this is a reality. So rather than going in your paranoia of death, which your just imagination, out of the seeing the situation that people are dying or somebody close is dying and you are afraid. And when we give this, it looks like a shamanic, strange imagination, but they work like an antidote.
Yeah, I use that in regression therapy for people that have been traumatized, where you take them back and change what happened so that you change the memory.
And here it should be related to the fact. This is a fact. So in a way, you are giving strength to face a fact, but in a dramatic way, with your own full freedom.
Right.
Conscious imagination. So that becomes a pure meditation. Awareness. This starts to develop awareness. And in that light, you will lose the fear of that.
But what do you think about all these people doing these mushrooms? I mean, my brother was here from Colorado and he said out there, they aren't even smoking pot anymore. He said they're doing these micro doses.
I have no idea,
mushrooms.
no experience of ayahuasca, mushroom.
Well, I don't either, but it's
I have
very
reporting
predominant.
experience, how people reporting what they are feeling, no? That they are connected to animal world, they see different patterns, their paintings are very bizarre in that state, what painting they are doing, their perception is different, they can communicate with, sometimes plant, river, nature spirit, they call it nature and nature spirit. So basically they are using to connect with nature and nature spirit.
What do you mean?
Like connecting to nature world.
With drugs, you mean?
Yeah, with drugs. Like, but they call this is a natural drug. It's not a chemical induced drug. It's the leaves of the tree and it's in a way natural. And it's also purgative. You can start vomiting. Sometimes people vomit and vomit and vomit. It has strange reactions to the people. I have stories of the people. Stories. Through that stories, I try to find out.
Yeah.
I have friends. They they used to take mushrooms. Okay, first, mushroom is the oldest consciousness in the world. It's more old than animals and more old than plants. So it's very old. And one time you take this hallucinogenic or toxic mushrooms, you get experience and you will never forget it. I mean, you can remind yourself this experience for years. That's why the pharmaceutical company are very spend a lot of money to explore, because with antidepressant, you have effect until you're taking tablets. When you stop taking tablets, in few months you forget there is no any kind of effects, psychological effects. But with mushrooms, you take once, and this effect can stay for years. I mean, you can remind yourself this kind of. But it's a kind of addiction. It's kind of addiction.
But not in one time, no?
Yes.
Not if you use just one time. It cannot be addiction.
Yeah.
One
Yes.
time. Yes, a very nice point that otherwise you have to induce opium or other drugs for every years, like for antidepressant. You have to give everyday dose. And this in the medical science, yes, you can use for the memory impression only one, and it can be used for years. But I don't know how to regulate. This is a doctor's job. But on how we come to this point?
We go with the flow. We're the flow.
No, we
Rules
come
of
to this.
wisdom and flow.
We come to this point when Pavel came and I asked him to explain ayahuasca because you didn't know anything about ayahuasca.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So when this kind of ceremony was happening, so this man took ayahuasca in Finland in the middle of the night somewhere, and we were 4.5 hours before. The difference between here too. So in the night, I got very strange night that night. And this person somehow get into this trip, but he could not fit in properly. And he started to have, her girlfriend started to have more paranoia. Like could not handle, like dying or paranoia. Like it wasn't like a spiritual experience the way they were expecting. What was happening in this all state, he was dreaming that a bee, an insect, encircling him around. So in all the way, even into that state of mind, an animal continuously wake him up. Even in the dream, try to wake him up. So we were talking about the divine messages of animal into the dream and waking state. So you can see that when we don't listen, like even our consciousness and awareness is not enough to wake up or be to listen the message that you should be aware and wake up. So even in the dream, this insect is coming and encircling him around, and it's not allowing him to sleep in the dream even.
Interesting.
No? So that means it's important for him to remain awake into that state, not to fall asleep. Make him conscious to the person is sleeping, going into the dream, then this insect is coming and not allowing him to sleep. Rather, making him motor organs to move in the dream, to think about it, to do something about it, to be responsive into the situation, even in the worst situation. So my point is, yes, animal will come to deliver a message when our consciousness is failing. Otherwise, we can deal it consciously. So somewhere for strength, somewhere as a message, and somewhere as a reminder.
Follow on. That's interesting.
So from here, we come to the point of ayahuasca, and then Dr. Pavel explained you all about ayahuasca, and you get in, So this was, I'm closing my statement like we are closing this thing, that in a way, in communication, if we pay attention to the dream and we remain conscious, it helps us to live the real life also, open to more subtle, non-verbal communications, which is happening around us. we are paying only attention to verbal communications. And in that way, we are feeling incomplete. If we will be open and vulnerable and aware, so it can enhance our awareness, meditation, sensitivity, emotions, empathy, if we will be open to non-verbal communication in day and also in the dream. And deciphering this non-verbal communication is all depending on our intelligence.
Art.
But the effort to go making us more perceptive and more sensitive and more understanding to the behaviors and inner feelings of the person rather than just verbal what person is saying.
Consciousness.
So let's see what will be the topic next time.
Pablo, what do you think? What should we talk about next time?
We can go to plant kingdom. How the
Ooh.
plant kingdom can help in our life.
That's the whole Ayurveda there already.
Ayurveda.
Or you want to?
In any house, you have some plants, and even in cooking, you use also plants, and
Yeah.
and you can do it differently, and how to teach kids how to be conscious about the plants. And,
Yeah, communication with plant. Yes, very nice. An intermediary bridge for resolving communication conflicts.
yes,
At
and
least
the
I
next.
know that if you give roses to someone, it helps to resolve communication conflict. Plant working in that way.
Ah, a man would think of that one. We were in the doghouse.
The plants immediately useful in resolving communication conflict. Just you should know which plant to offer.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
So see you
Okay.
next Wednesday.